Okay, in this lesson we're going to take a look at the topic of heat transfer. We're going to take a look at the three types of heat transfer: conduction, convection, and radiation. Conduction. Conduction is the transfer of heat through direct contact. So in my little diagram here, this guy's grabbing hold of, that's supposed to be a pan that's in the fire, and that he is getting conduction type heat transfer through that handle. When he grabs a hold of that handle, he's feeling the heat. Convection. Convection is the transfer of heat through a fluid. The word fluid can be a little misleading. Quite often think of fluid as being water, but fluid and liquid are not necessarily the same thing. Fluid can also include air. And here's a pan of hot water or any other liquid, and we've got these things here called convection cells. We're going to take a closer look at that in the next slide. Convection cells. The rising and falling of fluid by heating and cooling. The warmer, less dense fluid wants to rise because it is less dense, and the cooler, more dense fluid wants to sink because it is, because it is more dense. And this kind of cycle motion of the rising and falling creates what we call these convection cells. Convection cells can be found in many examples in nature, both in the atmosphere and in our mantle. Convection cells are also found in water. Radiation, the transfer of heat through space. So here in this little diagram here, we've got our guy who's warming his hands up. He's not putting his hands in the fire. He's not grabbing a hold of something warm. He's getting warm through the surrounding air and through the air around it that's getting warmed up. Another example of radiation is the way that the sun heats up our planet. The sun is millions of miles away, but it radiates energy through space and radiates that heat. All right, there is also a brain pop about heat transfer that you can watch, and I would suggest taking notes as needed. Due to copyright, I cannot record that video though. You can ask me about the user, login name, and password in class.